All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Wake Up with Workday. I'm your host, Tony Gilfillan, and as always on Fridays, joined here by the lovely Todd Tarpley. Welcome, Todd.
Hey, Tony. Hi, everyone.
All right, as per usual, we're going to jump into a few things that I find interesting today. This article was basically all the bunch of peer-reviewed articles and stuff are being flooded with AI slop like the rest of the world. So I think the AI slop world in general needs to be somehow regulated and or tampered some way, shape, or form. But how that's going to happen, who knows? AI slop is everywhere. um this one was pretty interesting. So someone, I don't know who was even working on this. Some company is working on essentially a new version of Fusion. I know Fusion's not exactly commercially available today, but if something becomes actually available for a clean way to actually operate Fusion, I think that would be a massive step forward, especially with all the energy needs that all this AI stuff is demanding these days. Need something different because the world just can't keep up with it. um, and in that vein, just another thing of bad news when it comes to hardware: SSDs are now 16 times more expensive than your standard hard drive. Oh my gosh! Like, I hope you're not in the the need to buy a new computer these days, because everything is just ridiculous. I don't even want to like price a computer at this point. Like, 16 times more than a regular hard drive. Like, that's insane. I don't even
Yeah.
know what a SSD would cost these days. Let's go. Actually, let's look it up. Newegg, just a regular old SSD. You building a computer soon, Todd?
No, I am not. I am not. Purchased one around the holidays, so I'm in good shape for a while.
Got this 1 terabyte for about 150 bucks. That's actually not awful. So 16 times might be a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah, I was expecting a bigger number there.
All right, and then that's the all for the news. I wanted to share this next bit with you guys. This is essentially a little vibe coded project that I did last night. If you're like me, you use Cursor and all the other AI tools to help you in the coding endeavors. But I don't always want to sit at my desk to do that kind of vibe coding. So I built this little controller that essentially um, controls the IDE on my computer from anywhere. So I basically have a little Python server running on my local computer, and then I have out in the cloud a little application that sends messages to and from that little Python server, and then that Python server is able to send those messages to my IDE, and then the IDE does its thing, does changes, uploads stuff to Git, whatever it's trying to do, and then I'm actually able to see what it does after it finishes. It puts all the changes into a little markdown file that my Python server is monitoring, and then it sends it back to my little cloud server here. So this is actually very mobile friendly. I used it last night in bed to do a couple changes to this cloud server. So it was a fun little project. At some point, I'll share it out to you guys. I don't think it's in a ready state to be out in the public, but when I have something that I'm proud to say that this is working really well, I'll share it with you guys. But this just a little side project that I find pretty entertaining. Todd, you been using Cursor much?
Yeah, yeah. Not a ton because most of my stuff is within, extend, but yeah, been using Cursor.
You use it on auto mode, or you'd like to pick and choose the model it's using for you?
I let it choose typically. I don't, I go auto mode mostly.
Yeah, I told you this earlier. I made that mistake last night. So just a forewarning to those folks that are out there using Cursor: if you decide to select your model, be sure to use the right model for the right job. Because last night when I was building this thing, I was like, I just wanted to use the best model, so I selected Claude Opus. I want this thing to think and build out the best possible solution every single time. Well, near the end of the night, I hit the end of my usage limits for the month. I this thing was eating up almost 1 million tokens every single time I was pushing that enter button. So just a heads up if you guys are not familiar with token usage and different models, but those large thinking models definitely eat up a ton of context because they're using all of that history and all of that previous message and all of your code base to kind of compile that answer every single time. So it's A, going to process a heck of a lot longer, and B, going to eat up your usage incredibly fast. And if you're paying ad hoc API costs, woof. Thankfully, I was not. I
Mhm.
just kind of ruined my month's worth of Claude for from Cursor. So that's all right. Live and learn, right? All right, so where we left off yesterday in the Workday Extend world for my little expense app that we were building. So if you guys are just tuning in to this particular app, I'm creating a Workday Extend app that is essentially a recurring expense manager. So this is my own personal use case. Like I have a recurring expense that's very small and it's always the same exact cost because of the what we're hosting on this little platform that needs to just be paid for on a monthly basis and expensed in the same exact way every single month. So I don't want to have to deal with that. I want it to create the same expense report, same line item, same project, and send it to my manager without me having to do anything. I also would like it eventually. We'll work on that as kind of a stretch goal to be able to recognize if expenses coming in are actually recurring and do they kind of fit that mold of should this be an automated expense report. Any thoughts on that one, Todd?
No, I kind of like it. Kind of cool. Said test case. So things come in from the credit card, from the corporate card, you're just going to automatically create expense reports if it hits some type of criteria, right? That's the
It,
concept here.
yeah, pretty much. So if you tuned in yesterday, we got the API working to actually retrieve those credit card expenses, and we also got the token and the API client all set up for that to work within this orchestration. And now we need to stick those transactions into a view page that we're able to actually turn those transactions into an expense report. So let's go ahead and start doing that piece. Again, this orchestrate that we built yesterday is very simple. It gets the token from our API client, saves that to a quick create values, and then uses that token in the get transactions SOAP call. If you're interested in learning more about SOAP and API clients, go ahead and watch the last two episodes from Wednesday and Thursday this week. Let's jump over to App Builder, where we're going to start creating a view page to use that orchestration. Let's see if Copilot can actually create us a view page that uses that orchestration. I don't know if it has reference to. I'm going to try it though.
So the orchestration was there because there wasn't REST endpoint coverage, right? That's why you did the orchestration to pull the SOAP. Okay.
Correct, yes. Give me a view page for my orchestration. See if it can just go off of that. Yeah, I don't think it has context into actual orchestration endpoints. So we'll just have to kind of do this the old fashioned way.
Yeah.
But we'll,
Worth a try though, right?
yeah, right? Eventually it will, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Manage credit card sections. All right. Little hello world page. We'll do a little page load. It's going to be an inbound endpoint. It's going to be a REST endpoint that's calling a SOAP endpoint, coincidentally. This is going to be a get from. Did I put any? Didn't. I'm going to go ahead and steal my data providers from different app. I don't like typing stuff. I just like copy and pasting.
Agreed.
Pretty sure I have a bunch of them in the Orchestrate Insights dashboard.
I'll work on grabbing something too if
Here we are.
it takes a minute.
Drop that right here. And we're going to use the Workday orchestration one. Again, if you tuned in to the Insight APIs app, we are utilizing that API gateway endpoint. This is a handy little variable that actually routes to your region specific gateway endpoint. So, very nice to make your apps very portable. Workday orchestration, and now I think the only thing I need is the orchestration name, which is get credit card transaction / launch.
For orchestration, it's post though, right? Your method.
Oh, thank you.
I know, I always just default to get on the inbounds, right?
Yeah, my brain just like we're getting something. Where is this not like an endpoint's missing? Oh, I should probably name my endpoint. Get credit card. Post to the inbound endpoint couldn't be loaded.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do post on loads. You got to do like a push button that a deferred endpoint on it.
Uh,
Do you know what I mean?
so deferred. And then if you wait for onload, could you just trigger it after on the in the onload script? Does that work?
You can, but you want to populate like a grid of values here, right? I
Right.
assume.
Like if I didn't want to push a button, what's the best way to go about that? Would that be
Um,
essentially I want to like lazy load it?
right. I'd have to see if you could do the onload. Like what gets invoked first? Is the grid get populated or does the onload occur first? Onload triggers after before loading any widget. So it should be able to work on load before loading any widgets. So inbounds execute, on load executes, then the widgets populate.
I would be able to generate my little invoke. It did not.
Onload event doesn't support the invoke method on deferred inbound post methods to work around this. It's the documentation says to work around this. You can open a page using a button with the command HTTP method. You know, if you transfer pages using a button and you set the page to load as a post,
Oh,
then you can use the post in your inbounds.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If I invoke this as a get, it's just not going to do anything.
Give it a try, but no, I don't think it will.
Loaded without error, but it probably doesn't have any data. Let's put just see what's in this endpoint. Data. Interesting.
Yeah, let's just see the endpoint raw.
What?
That looks like a failure. Is this endpoint working in like a API tool? Bruno, something like that, or
That's
I
a
guess even just orchestrate in the orchestrate
yeah. I'm just curious if the orchestrate
tester.
it does work in the orchestrate tester. If we run
Okay.
this bad boy, it does give us a response.
Okay.
But I didn't typo in the actual version, did I? Here, putting an extra slash, maybe. No. Losing my mind. It's just orchestration name slash launch, right?
Let's take a look at that. But yeah, that looks like it to me. So you return the XML body.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna turn that into JSON too, but let's first of all get a response.
Oh, let's type anything.
Maybe hard code a JSON response in your orchestrate just to see. Could be the get is the problem, or it could be the response.
Like hard code response in the orchestration.
Yeah, in a JSON format. In this full disclosure, I haven't tried to get on this to see what happens, so that certainly could be part of our issue here.
Turn the bearer token response. It's always something fun to play with.
Yeah. I mean, I still would have expected the XML body to be at the response and that to be displayed, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, it should auto detect the data type to just XML text.
hmm so I feel like it should have rendered something there.
This should be my little token. Yep.
Okay.
What is this returning?
SSO. You're logged in as. Are you logged into a tenant?
Oh, uh,
There we go. That's going to be one problem.
that would definitely be a problem. I'm surprised it even let me
I am too.
run that without
hmm
trying to connect to something.
hmm
Very interesting. Still just an endpoint wrapper. Never usually run into some sort of explosion here.
You want to throw it on a button and try the post?
Yeah, why not?
What do you think?
Oh, that's yeah, because it's not getting invoked anywhere. It's just the wrapper. Because
Do you still have it?
I marked it
Do you still
as
have deferred?
I did.
Deferred?
Yeah, that's the problem.
There we go.
So it's just an endpoint that didn't do anything. Or just why isn't it working? All right, there's the response. Let's change this back to our transaction.
Seems like it's doing. Are you frozen?
Oh, it looks like you froze. Oh,
Okay. You were frozen on my side, but what did you get here? I didn't see. It does say my connection's unstable. So if I go come and go, don't just keep on going.
yeah, you're fine.
Um,
It did. Oh yeah, we got the what we changed it to. So it's just that
okay.
it was the deferred problem.
Okay.
We were just trying to get data out of something that wasn't populating any data. That's what happens when you do things live. You make silly mistakes. All right. Now that we're actually going to get data back, let's see it. I refresh. All right. See if the get does work.
There you go. I mean, there's no body coming across here, so it makes sense. I just in my mind it had have it as like orchestrates have to be post.
Right. Yeah, that's
Okay.
interesting. All right. Well, this is a big long mess that we don't want to see anymore. Let's put this. Why is it not like shifting every time I click it? All right. And the grid. Good. Visual mode here. Rows is going to be that. Actually, was that data results? Sometimes that changes on me.
I'm sorry, what was that the response?
Yeah, let's see. What is this thing complaining at? List
Well, I
cannot be
mean,
cast. Probably looking for.
it I don't think it's gonna be able to handle XML. I think we have to transform it before we can push it into the grid.
Yeah, the value is what I'm looking for, but it's going to be the big long XML.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so probably do the transform in orchestrate.
The typical pattern. So what do we want to do? We want to loop through XML entries and for each entry, transform that into JSON and aggregate it up. Is that what we're thinking?
I think that's the way to go. Trying to think of what all the data we're going to need. Because I don't need all of it. Just need what our expense report. Ah, there's a considerable amount in here that we're really not going to need. Hmm. This is. Well, we can start building the loop. So we're going to loop on an XML data set. It's going to be our output from here. It's going to be
Yes.
as, yeah.
Yep. Yep. An iterator, right?
Yep. We need to probably at some point probably need to filter it by stuff that's not already paid, but we'll get to that later. And,
Off the X, it should be off the XML. As XML, there's
oh,
iterator. Yeah. Now type in iterator and you'll get some options. Probably the top one, I would think. XPath by string. Um, the namespaces might be a little bit of a trick here, getting them in.
so we're just gonna look for
Uh, that's what we want to iterate over. Oh, maybe not. Response group. What's our response group?
response data.
Response
Here it
data.
is. Yeah.
That's it. And then response data has a bunch of expense credit card transactions in it, right?
Right. So you want the iterator is off of the data set, not into the individual item, right?
Yeah, because it'll be the response data array is what we want to iterate on.
All right. See.
I might do the slash slash so it goes right to it, right? For your X path. Otherwise, it's going to want the full path. But if you do slash slash, it'll just go to where that exists, I think.
All right. Log the item. Just want to see that we're. Yeah, can I see if I can debug this? I know I can't debug within a loop, but we can debug the actual loop itself.
Nice trick on that one is put some type of create text template in there and aggregate it. And then you'll see that it's actually hitting that, right? So like when you debug at the loop, you can't see what's going on inside the loop. But if you put some type of text template, which your log would be, then you would get that result aggregated. So
Ah,
does that make sense?
yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, unfortunately, the debugging doesn't go and entry by entry in the loop.
To aggregate as well.
Yeah, put the text template of like the item in it or something. So we'll have to add something here. So within the loop, we need to create a text template to be able to aggregate the values.
Right.
Yeah. And then that being like the loop item or whatever.
That's the proper syntax. Grab advanced mode.
I
Just
always start out with data. I've never seen directly the loop. Learning something.
oh, it does start. You were right.
I still resolved item though. That's what I was surprised at.
oh, it did.
I thought when you were typing it resolved it, but maybe not. Maybe you
I
just
might
type
have just
fast.
moved too quick. Yeah.
Now we aggregate that in your aggregator. This is still XML at this point, right?
Uh,
We could
yes, it is.
so yeah, then so you can call it whatever you want. We're gonna make it JSON before this is done, right?
Eventually, it will be. Yes. Oop. Item.
Oh, we could have just gone straight there. So sorry about make the text template, but
That's all good.
needs some form of a header,
Uh,
like XML tag of like body or something like that. I don't know. Probably needs a footer too. You could change the header drop down. See what,
oh,
yeah, there we go.
gotcha. All right. Line separator condition. I think that.
What's your validate say though?
Oh, I do have an error, don't I?
But I don't know because you're still working in there. You put the footer in there, so that might have resulted.
String type, but it's XML.
Hmm. Yeah, the debugger is great. I've really sped up orchestrate build times,
Yeah,
not having to deploy and check stuff out.
things so fast. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Let's. I change the output to this aggregator loop. XML, that's fine. Did it?
Nice.
No, it just keeps it on one page. So this should just
Is there some?
be our, yeah, response
Okay.
data.
And relatively massive, right? There's a lot of lines there.
That should be somewhere still in the realm of like 5,000 lines.
Okay. So we are getting all lines. It's not like it just gave us the first. It gave us, it's got everything there.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so that's working. We are getting our XML. Now we just need to convert it into JSON.
And then maybe add a filter once we get it converted to JSON, but yeah.
This work just creating off of a loop item,
Yeah, it
loop item
does.
dot data.
You could just go straight in your create text if you wanted to do it there. You could do this, create JSON. You got some options here.
What'd you suggest, Todd?
I do create text template, but I don't know as though that's best practice. That's comfort versus best practice, just because
Gotcha.
then I see it all being built out. This is more structured, I guess. This might be a better practice, but I've just done create text template in the past.
Sure. Trying to think of a way that I could use like Gemini to spit out a text template for me. Because there's a lot of elements in here, and it's going to take me some time
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
build this out.
We really just need the amount and the width, right?
True.
And then we're probably going to filter to put it on our worker. So we just get Logan's transactions or something like that on this, right?
Right. Can start with that.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a Gemini way to do this.
All right, let's go your route.
Okay.
That's quick and dirty way, and we're already over.
Oh, geez, we are.
Time flies when you're having
Time
fun,
flies.
Todd.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, and
And just die.
the loop
Think
dot
of it.
item, and then I'm going to use this log statement to kind of pick out these not two string, loop item. Well,
Yeah, as XML.
where's that like binder things? XML string,
Um,
XML
I
string.
think you lost your two XML, so that might limit what you're able to see there. It doesn't know that's cast as
Oh,
XML, so it might have limited your result set there.
I thought it.
I would do the two XML, then go to see what your next function is and as XML.
Yep.
Now you went like the value add path, right?
Right. That's the same.
What about XPath? Okay, there we go. XML string. It says XPath. That should do
This retrieves a string list, and this retrieves a string.
string. If we're doing amount and width, string should do it for us.
String list. Like I don't. There's no lists even in here. Is there? I mean that I'm trying to
Uh,
retrieve. I mean the whole thing is a list technically, but
Correct.
that's not what I'm looking
Because we're if we hit the IDs and stuff like that where there is a list, we're gonna wire it to the WID though anyways. We're not gonna do like the credit card expense status ID and those type of things. We're gonna go right to the WID. So I
Right.
wouldn't do a list.
Start with ID here. Type WID. Can you specify that the type as well
Uh,
in the XPath?
isn't, so what's your, I think it's at the at sign between ID and, yeah. That'd be my first try on that one at least. Going back to my studio days, trying to remember.
Build an XSLT.
Yep.
I do not miss messing with Studio, to be completely honest. All right, let's
Yeah,
see if that
I
just.
agree, but Studio has some power. So I
It
still kind of,
does. There's definitely those niche needs that Studio can still do.
we're going to see how this goes. That I wonder if there's going to be more than one WD IDs after, per line.
It very well could be the case. We could be getting value exists at XPath. Try and play with the XPath then. Token. There's space in between here.
No, there's not a space, but it might be an array type. Um, wrap that all in like brackets. Is that what it is? No, no, I'm sorry, the add Workday type. Yeah,
There we go.
lots of IDs.
Lots of ideas.
Let
Well, that's it. Should be
it could be
expected.
all the lines, yeah. But it'll hit the first ID. So I do think we need to put in more of a path to the WID that we're going for, right? Which one do we want to get here?
That is gonna be probably this first one here, the credit card transaction WID.
It's probably the one we want.
Yeah, because you got all kinds of WIDs for like the trial the file reference, category reference, merchant code reference.
Yeah, so maybe we put that top, yeah, that path in front of it too, just so we know that we're hitting this WID. Slash. Nice.
All right.
Cool.
Now we got. Now we're cooking. Actually, let advanced mode fix it for us.
hmm Those double quotes, right?
Yeah. All the escapes and stuff. I will definitely make a mistake. I think so.
You got to put the bracket. I think we lost the brackets in that process.
We did.
Yeah, to tell it to use, to tell it to use the context.
Yeah. Well, actually, did start. I noticed the chat just now, guys. I actually did start creating some short form videos for tutorials like this, and actually, the next thing I'm going to be getting into is orchestrations like this, and doing loops and doing different API calls. So you can start checking those out. Went over all the builders, and starting rudimentary for sure, but we'll be getting into the more complex stuff with orchestrations next in that series. And let's see here. Right. Wait.
I think we're still wired to the loop. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean? I think
yeah. The response is not
our
being.
response is yeah. What you can do, yeah, let's go ahead and wire that the right way.
Wait a sec. The aggregate,
Mm-hmm.
not what it.
Click into it.
Wait a sec. Oh,
It's loop item. So we want to change that to the text template, right?
right.
And actually our strategy is now text. Is that true? We're just folding. Yeah, yeah.
Because it is just the actual widths now, right?
Right now it's just text. Yeah, there's no JSON or XML in it.
Yeah, just XML tags, not really a well-formed XML.
Now let's try. Yeah, that looks good. You want to try the debug and step through it a little bit? Oh, you
Yes.
got to do a line separator. Yeah. Oh, not supported. Go to the top, very top. We gotta initiate that HTTP request, or maybe even the create values. Cause yeah, you gotta go to there. You go. Perfect. Yeah, let's go to the next step. Hit that little arrow. Yep.
Play button not working.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, there it is. There's my values. Now it's working. Then
We might have
HTTP,
skipped over a step and lost a value on it. Yeah.
credit card transactions,
Now here's
and
where
the
you
loop.
don't see each thing, but you're going to see there's where you're getting your aggregator, okay?
That
So it executed all the instances on that loop, and here's your response. Here's your output from the loop.
nice. Yeah, it would be nice to be able to hit every single step in the loop, but this is the next best thing, and it's all the widths. Wait a sec.
This might be our input. Click, click play. Did we jump through the loop yet? I think we did.
This is still more than this is everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Did I not do here? Aggregators? Something wrong? Possibly.
We have two text templates. One is just the item, and the others are JSON. See that?
Oh, right.
I bet we're still wired to the first one.
I think you're correct. Text strategy. Yep.
Yep, we are.
Go ahead and also just get rid of this other one because this is using me. All right. Now we should only have the one text template. We're not sending. Actually, now the response probably doesn't have anything. Or no, it's
No, because
looping into, yeah, into the
we
aggregate
changed our
file.
aggregator,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. Do you have to keep redeploying on this for the debugger? Or could you just rerun with the change on it? Let's try that next time. Next time without deploying. Let's just run the debugger and see if it picks up our changes. I'm curious.
Oh yeah, this is running the whole orchestration. It's just the one, just a single WID.
Hmm.
Run the debugger now. Let's see what the heck is going on there. Yeah, we're getting just a single WID. Something's wrong with our aggregation.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
JSON message.
Let's on our aggregation, let's add another entry called count. Another aggregation of just count. Let's see if we get. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Just go into the aggregation and we're going to add an output called count and go to that and change that to a count. Scroll somewhere. The strategy should be count or
Oh,
sum or something
strategy.
like that.
That's not.
Yeah, count. Perfect. Perfect. That'll tell us how many times, and we'll just keep it true. So that way we just know how many times it actually hits there. Which that might tell us that our aggregation's wrong or our iterator's wrong, right?
Can I reference that in a log step so I don't have to deploy?
Well, when you debug, it skips over logs. But I don't think we have to deploy because we're going to be able to, we should be able to see the results of the aggregation. You could try the log. You could try the log. Um,
Uh,
Perfect.
debug again.
There you go.
Okay.
Let's take a look at this.
Log step. But okay, so that doesn't work.
Break out the loop one there.
Loop is count one. Hmm. So I wonder, did I do something wrong with my um, that XML path?
Let's take a look at your, actually, I think it's the loop. Let's go to the loop and let's see what our iterator looks like. Do we need like response data bracket star? Um,
But we were getting all of them before we changed the before we refined down the XML path. Like we were getting, the big long list of IDs.
yeah, I remember what you're talking about. I'm wondering if we were, yeah, it's one of two. It could be the aggregator's not raw. You're right. We're just see if the thing we're looking at is the very last one. I guess maybe that's one way to look at this. What is that ID that we had in the?
Oh, good point.
Is it the first or the last?
90,000 C1784 bugger. Yeah, it's the very first one. So it hits the first and then stops. Mm, Not iterating properly.
That would be my guess right now.
I feel like this is fine. Like data loop as well. Because if we took out this, that was essentially the bit we added, right? We pared it down. Let's just
Hmm.
make sure we're not going crazy here. This was all we really did. And this. Hmm. Still broken. I could have sworn we had all those IDs coming through.
What I don't know is if we had a lot coming through, whether we were just connected to the high node and we had everything as a result of that.
True. Uh, is our strategy still XML? Was that the problem, maybe?
Hmm. Because we're text now. Could be. I mean, XML is not right? So might as well change that strategy.
We were
Because we're just
text,
text, we're just individual items, yeah.
but we're not paring it down to just the data. It is still technically an XML tag. Does an XML iterator still function when the XML is not well formed?
Uh, you mean on the loop or the aggregator? Because we're two different. Like our loop should be XML. That should be well formed, right?
The loop, yeah, the loop is.
What
I
was our count? Did we see what our count was? Was our count one or was it?
count was one, yeah.
So we're not iterating then.
I'm just gonna test it using the XML strategy just to
Okay.
see what happens. Oh, but found text. Just kind of shooting in the dark right now. Validate unknown error. Yeah, I don't think it likes the aggregator as text. Okay. That I think the aggregator is working right, so I don't think it's that. Let's work our way backwards here. Text template. Pretty sure this was functioning before. As XML to XML string.
I think that's right. Because we get in a value, it's just like we're not getting more than one. So what is it? See what the iterator is. Where are we iterating against? Response data. Oh, there's one response data. I think we got to go one level deeper here. Do you know what I mean?
Uh,
Response data is just the giant packet, but we want to iterate on
on on these
expense.
transactions, yeah.
Yeah, let's give that a try.
That makes more sense. And then when we were just looking for the WID, there was still a lot of WIDs in there, even though because it was the whole thing. That makes more sense.
To guess, let's see.
It's
But
a
it does seem wrong because it wouldn't iterate on that one.
I didn't update. Okay, now debug. There we go.
Count
75.
75.
Excellent. Okay. So that's actually going to give us some sort of response at the end here. And we can hear that. The loop transactions. Perfect. Okay. So we're getting all the WIDs, and then we'll just need to essentially get the amount and what, like type or like the vendor or something, probably. I can't remember what all
Uh,
expense reports are required for.
I think to push it back to the expense report, you probably just need the transaction ID, the WID for the transaction ID, but your user is going to need to see some information about the transaction, which might be vendor and amount, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, we've nearly gone over half an hour, Todd, and I appreciate you hanging
all
on here
right.
with us. I think this was a good use of time playing with iterators and how to, fiddle with XML and getting those loops to actually function properly. So we're on the right track, and I think we're going to get some actual data on our screen next time on Monday. Appreciate the time. Thank you guys for joining us. And Todd, also, I think you're having a pretty exciting deep dive next week.
Yeah, on Tuesday we're kicking off our first in the deep dive series for 2026. We're going to be talking about business process deployment considerations. We're going to go through pod usage, minimizing pages, minimizing maintenance, a little trick on BP approvals, and then we're going to talk about batch approval process and some patterns that are available for you there. So come join us next Tuesday.
Awesome. Yeah, exciting stuff. That'll be a good one. I'll be there with bells on.
All
All right.
right.
Thanks, Todd. We'll see you guys all next week.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks all.